Listen, I have a very inspiring story that I want to share with you because this is about a bunch of students overcoming odds. Students from Howard University, the greatest university on earth, that saved Def Jam. The day is October 8th, 1994. And prior to that day, remember that day, October 8th, 1994, I had started a company with some friends of mine called University Promotions. And with University Promotions, we did homecomings for all the black colleges and universities. At that time, there were 144. So this year, we had a contract to do the homecoming for Howard University. And little Jimel, who still works with me today, she's about 5 foot, and 100 pounds wet at the time. She always would come up with incredible ideas and would act on them. University Promotions had a little office on campus, and we used the money to start University Records, which is a whole nother story that I'll get into later. So Jimel used to come in the office and listen to Biggie and Redman. She was one of the few young women I knew at that time that loved Redman. So she came to me and she said, "Hawk, I got an idea. And we're gonna call it Man versus Man. And we're gonna do that for Howard's homecoming." And I said, "Yo, go for it," right? She took the train to New York and she met with Kevin Liles and she met with Diddy. Kevin Liles at that time was president of Def Jam. And we had known him because prior to that, he was head of the Mid-Atlantic region for promotions for Def Jam. So Jimel and I already had a relationship with him, and Jimel had a real good relationship with Kevin Liles. So she goes up to Def Jam and she pitches Redman versus Method Man at Howard University, October 8th, 1994. Kevin Liles loves the idea, okay? Now remember, Jimel is, I think, a sophomore in college, so I want y'all to know one thing that Howard University teaches you is to never accept no as an answer, and 2, you can do and be whatever you want to be. So that's the idea that we had in our head, that as a Howard student, we were about to take over the world and we could do whatever we wanted to do. So she's a sophomore. She meets then with Diddy, and both albums are coming out the first week of October. You got Redman's album, you got Method Man's album, and you got Biggie's album, right? Okay. So Def Jam, the University Promotion staff works with the Def Jam staff to make it happen. And what I always did was get the FOI to secure the premises. By that time, all the black colleges knew that when Hawk Islam University Promotions did an event, the FOI was locking it down. Now, there were 2 lieutenants that worked with me. One was Brother Aaron, and the other was Brother Tim Muhammad. Now, Brother Tim Muhammad worked with me that day. Brother Tim had an interesting voice. He always talked in a whisper. Something was wrong with his voice, but he kind of sounded like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, So whenever I ran into a problem with a place, I bring Brother Tim with me and he'd talk to the administration. And he'd bring about 5 or 6 brothers with him. And whatever, we would always work out and get the place. So when you walk out of Union Station today, to your right is the Post Office Museum. 1994, it wasn't being utilized. I don't know how we got that place, but we got it. So we had to put all the equipment in and everything like that. Def Jam worked with us, Kevin Liles worked with us, and they gave us this Def Jam signal. It was like a bat signal because it was a light outside, 3 lights, and in the sky was Def Jam insignia, Method Man insignia, Redman insignia. Crazy night, right? And remember, we're still at university. I'm in grad school. Okay. So, the night of the party, Brother Tim comes with about, 100 FOI. Had to be. There was FOI all over the place. And you know where Brother Hawk was. I'm at the door counting them out. That's my job, to be at the door counting the money, to be at the door collecting the money. There's 2,000 kids inside the event. There's 2,000 kids outside of the event. But it's one of the calmest events that you ever seen because nobody outside is making a ruckus at all because they know the FOI takes place. And you know where Brother Hawk is at the door counting the money. But I'm watching the stage, right? Drew Hill goes on. They weren't called Drew Hill at the time, but we'll talk about that another day. They rip it, right? And then Jam Master Jay is there with a group called Flatliners that he has signed to Def Jam. You know, may Allah have mercy on his soul. Okay, but Kevin Liles is late with Method Man and Redman. Diddy is backstage with Biggie, and everybody is rushing Diddy to get a record deal because Bad Boy's hot at that time, Biggie's hot. One of the funniest incidents that happened is that everybody's surrounding Diddy, but Biggie steps in and says, yo, you know, leave my man alone. And he says to Diddy, you know, now I'm your manager. I'm backing everybody off you. Okay, back to the story, right? I'm at the door collecting the money, right? And all of a sudden, I hear a ruckus, right? You know, and I said, FOI, I got it. Let me get this money, right? And then I see walking through the crowd, there's 6 men, suited and booted, right? And 1 in the middle, 4 on the side, and 1 in the back, right? And they're walking through the crowd. And as they walk through the crowd opens up. And I'm at the door. And the brother says, pardon me, Brother Hawk. And in the middle, they have a brother. And as I looked, that was the brother causing the ruckus. They literally threw him out. And as he was flying through the air, it seemed like he was moving in slow motion. And the crowd outside opened up and he, boom, hit the ground. Back to the story. So everybody is waiting for Method Man, Redman, Kevin Liles, right? And you can check this story with Kevin Liles. We had to open up the back door. Kids are all over the place. Outside, I couldn't get any more kids in because, you know, I get in as many kids as I want because I wanted to what? Collect the money. All right. So finally, they come 2 hours late. We had to open the back door. And we didn't have enough men at the back door, and the kids rushed it. The FOI had to go to the back door and close it. But by that time, the fire marshals, the federal police, DC police had come because somehow a fire alarm went off. They came inside and they couldn't understand what was going on because the kids outside, for the most part, were quiet. They were partying and everything, but they were in line because nobody wanted any problems, particularly after the brother got thrown out. So the cops are saying, well, what's going on here? What's going on? And then inside, when they come inside, they see kids partying and sweating. I mean, sweating. Everybody was having a great time. And the cops are, it's like such a dialectical situation because there's 2,000 kids outside and they don't know why they're so calm. There's 2,000 kids inside and they're having a ball and they're saying, we're gonna shut this thing down, you know, because we don't understand what's going on. It's a party, you're on federal property, you got a post office museum. How did you get here? And then all of a sudden, right? One of the greatest nights in hip hop happened because Biggie hits the stage with Method Man and they sing the what? The crowd goes wild. The album didn't even come out yet. Everybody in the crowd is singing every lyric of the song. The crowd's going wild. And the police are like, what's going on? You know, they can't understand it. And Jimel is with the police. She's surrounded with about 5 or 6 FOI. And they're saying, we're shutting this down. And Jimel starts crying, please, please, officer, if you shut it down, the kids are going to riot. And the FOI saying, she's right, brother, she's right, And they say, okay, you got it now. And the police left. I would never, like that happening in today's marketplace? No, never. They said, no, okay, you guys got it now. They said, we're not going to shut it down. Man, it was such a great night. One of the greatest nights in hip hop history. October 8th, man versus man, Old Post Office Pavilion. And what I want you to know is that this idea was conceived by a sophomore at Howard. It was actually produced by Howard University students. We made sure students were involved in every aspect of it, from producing the concert, collecting the money. No, let me explain that, because AJ Calloway was my intern, and whenever I collected money, I said, AJ, come here. And I put money in his pocket. He said, because, AJ was kind of a dapper guy back then. He's walking around with a jacket. So he had like 6 pockets. I stuffed money in his pockets, and then he'd go back to doing what he was doing. But we made sure students were involved in every aspect of concert production. That concert was done by Howard University students. And what I want you to do, if you remember that night, if you were there that night, October 8th, 1994, at the Old Post Office Pavilion across the street from Union Station, DM me. And if you want any proof on this, if you need to talk to somebody about that night, hit up Kevin Lyles. Greatest night in hip hop history. But the back door was broken. The Postal Museum sued Def Jam for $300,000, but Def Jam was happy to pay it because the publicity they got from that night was unmatched. And from that night on, Method Man and Redman became an item, and the what took off. That's your brother, Haq Islam, on these Brooklyn Stoops, giving you life information, life-saving information, and business development information that I hope helps your life and business grow. Assalamu alaikum from these Brooklyn Stoops.